Get out, they go slide.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome wherever in the world you are. How y'all doing today? Well, I hope. So, today is going to be very, very different. It is not something I have ever done before on the show. Normally it's video games. Today, we're gonna dream of video games. How does that sound?
Oh yeah,
So-
another dragon boarding the train. All aboard! Choo choo.
Oh, look at that.
Less than 3.
Woohoo! Shamsy, thank you so much for resubbing. 21 months as a sub. Let's give everybody some gold. How about 210 gold in honor of Shamsy? All right, another content creator. Great guy. The voice of butter. Yes. So, or with a voice of butter. He doesn't
Oh
speak
yeah,
for butter.
another dragon boarding the
Yeah.
train. All aboard!
So,
Choo choo.
all right. We'll get to the subs here in just a second. I really want to say what we're doing here. We are going to go over Midjourney, the AI created imagery. And the stuff is absolutely amazing. It is breakthrough technology. It is something that is very disruptive. The art community is all up in arms, especially since Midjourney took first place in an art contest, a legit art contest, and so people are very, very upset about this. And so, anyway, let me show you some of the stuff that is the imagery of this. You can see on the screen here, you can see some of the imagery I've created. My wife has created some of it. We've been playing with this. And first though, Memorbo, thank you for 10 months as a sub. There is another 100 gold. Everybody here in your honor, thank you, thank you. So, all right. As a, I didn't expect this, but I made some stuff for Dual Universe. And I didn't expect it, but they liked it so much they thought, oh hey, we're gonna give a shout out on social about this. And so let's just start out with some of the stuff that I made for Dual Universe, and then we can go over kind of how it was made and everything. So this right here, I just used simply like the words of, sitting cliffside overlooking a valley with the galaxy in the sky. And this is what I came up with. This one actually wasn't a Dual Universe one, but I thought it was very, very fitting. It's kind of in that same theme. So, but then I thought, what if I could put Dual Universe in a bottle? And this is what resulted from playing around with it. And I want to say, each one of these images that I'm showing you today that I've done have probably taken me about an hour. Now, I could cut that time way down, and I have some other images of bottles here. And it didn't take an hour for each one, but I've got probably around 20 images that I've done in total that I'm happy with. And I've spent probably about 20 hours playing around with it. So, anyway, so I told the bot, I'm like, all right, give me Dual Universe in a bottle. And so this is the bottle it came up with. It's got a little planet in there and everything. And it's got the, like, a factory landscape in the background. It's got this little stuff right here. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. And then I refined it some more. And I really wanted it to show dual universe in the bottle and to write dual universe on the screen or in the image. What I found was I can't get it to write very well. It's really, really difficult to get it to write words. And so you'll see this in some of the other art that I show. So I settled for DU. And so this is dual universe in a bottle. And the buildings in the background, they're actually other bottles. Isn't that wild? Isn't that absolutely wild? Let's see here. I can probably make this a little bit bigger. Yeah. So, yep, so dual universe in a bottle there. And then, so that last one looked like a water bottle. This looks like a wine bottle. And a lot more of a space city in the background. And still, again, I've got the stuff in the bottle here too. It's almost like when you look through a crystal ball, you know, you can see the other side, except it's upside down. Well, this isn't upside down, but that's just kind of what it feels like. And then I thought we needed some harder alcohol because we're about to celebrate the launch of Dual Universe. And so this, I think, more is like a whiskey bottle type of stuff, or maybe that's MD 2020. Yeah. Anyway, a few more bottles in the background as some of the buildings. And then here's a champagne bottle celebrating the launch of the game. And this one is pretty amazing. I really like this one. It actually feels really, really good. And then there was a couple others where the bottle didn't always appear. But I got the wording to appear, and it looks like a giant spaceship here type of building. Yeah, it's pretty wild. I think this one is actually blasting off. And then here's another one with some fantastical space buildings and floating space stuff back here, just like in Dual Universe when you run into one of those floating structures. Yeah. So anyway, well, I've got some more art to show, but let's take a suggestion from y'all. What is it, something that you want to see a piece of art of? No nudity. No nudity. Just type it out in chat, and we'll see if we can come up with something. And I'll show you this image generation. So, the nudity gets you banned in Midjourney, by the way. Dragon at a barbecue. All right, there we go. All right, so here is the prompt. You run this actually through Discord, which may sound kind of incredible, but you do. That's how you do it. And so I'm going to bring up the prompt, imagine, and then dragon at a barbecue. All right, so we're putting that in, and it's going to start bringing it up here. Now, I didn't give it any extra commands or whatnot. I just told it straight what Sean Butts asked for. And, you know, so maybe the dragon will be the cause of the barbecue. Maybe it'll be eating barbecue. It's hard to tell. So it is coming up with some different stuff here, and we got to wait until it's pretty much done. You can't quite tell what it's going to be until it's all the way up here, and so we'll take a look at it here. All right, so this is what we got, and we've got, oh, I guess the upper left one, the dragon's sitting on the barbecue, maybe? I don't know. I don't know that any of these are really what we're looking for. So I'm gonna refresh. We're gonna give it another shot, because the AI uses a lot of different stuff for interpretation, and it doesn't necessarily, it won't give me the same thing again here. So yeah, it just doesn't do that. It's very interesting how this works. So we might have to refine it a bit. Maybe like dragon sitting eating barbecue or something like that. So, Ninro, that's an interesting one. Humans discovering the remains of a lost civilization on Mars. Well, here's something I can do. I can do stuff at the same time. You can have a few prompts going at the same time. And so here is humans, or this is dragon at a barbecue again. And it's interesting, this one on the upper right. So let's take a look at this one. So that's going to be U2, and we're gonna make a better version of that one. So, and while we're humans discovering the remains of a lost civilization on Mars, that one's coming up too here. It's not quite done yet. All right, they pop to the bottom when they're done. And interesting. One of the U2 looks kind of like maybe. So we'll give that one a better look. And this is still working here. And let's see here. I got a cheat sheet over here too. All right, let's see here. Okay, so this one came up. It's really not highly detailed, is it? Let's take a look at this one. This one's kind of interesting. It does look like they're digging something, so it got that they're finding a lost civilization and everything. Let's beta upscale redo this one. It's going to use a beta version things here, and so I'm going to take a different aspect on this dragon one. And so I'm changing my prompt here to say anamorphic, majestic dragon knight eating barbecue. It's a portrait. It's finely detailed armor, cinematic lighting, intricate filigree metal design, 4K, 8K, which is kind of the depth, Unreal Engine, and Octane render. So now this is quite a much more complex command here, but you know, this is going to produce something else here. And all right, so here's the civilization one. Let's see if this come up on here. I just need to make sure it comes up on there. It's still quite the needs a lot of work still on that one, in my opinion. All right. So all right, so here is the dragon eating barbecue anamorphic. I think we need to take the anamorphic off of it because it's too much of a close-up. And so let's see here. You can see though that the design is much different. So I took the anamorphic off. You have to start a new command here. You can't just go off of the old one. Customer. All right, so Midjourney does cost money. I'm paying $30 a month for it. The $10 a month is a really, I would say, casual user. You can use up all of your GPU time in a day on the $10 a month one. So, you know. All right, so here is some very interesting stuff. Now, there's no barbecue involved here, is there? I just don't see any barbecue involved. Let me refresh that one again. And maybe I need to take portrait out of there too. So that could be. This stuff, I spend hours going through these, trying to get them to come out the way I want, and working on the prompts. And I'll show you some really complex ones as well. So what I can't do today is I can't go looking through the gallery of other people's stuff. If you go to midjourney.com, maybe perhaps spell out barbecue. That's a good idea. Let's try that. So I can't show it to you because it's a violation of the terms of Midjourney to do any nudity. And what they say is you got to keep it PG-13 or less. And if you are, and all of your stuff is public. So you see this is my page here right here, this is what it looks like if you're viewing it as a visitor. And you can see here the latest things that I've rendered higher or whatnot. Oh, and you can see my other stuff. I did propaganda, and it does propaganda extremely well, and we'll get to that. So you can see here that my stuff comes up here, and it so it's all public, and you get turned in for doing nudity, and I think it's one warning, and then your account is just closed. So I will give you guys my URL here in a little while. I don't want to do it yet. I want to save a little surprise on some of this stuff that I've made. And so anyway, let's see here. All right, so this stuff still didn't come out quite as good. It's very, very interesting looking, but it's not quite as good. So let's let me show you prompt craft here, I guess. This is my prompting stuff here. And then I'm gonna go AR 16 by 9. This may not make it work right. I may not be able to get as high a detail as I want to by doing this, but I'm gonna try it. I changed my prompt to be the word barbecue, and I removed portrait out of it. And we're gonna remove anamorphic out of it too. So, all right, gonna copy that. I keep a notepad running so that I can do other prompts. There are ways to see the prompts of what other people are doing, and I'll show you how to get that. And so now we're gonna put this other one in, and it's gonna make it in 16 by 9 format. You see they're wider now. Duel the Game just shared me on Instagram. Yeah, nice. Yeah, so I sent them the images yesterday. I had a meeting with them yesterday. It went really, really well. I'm really impressed by what's happening in the background for the launch coming up on the 27th. So if you are here and you play video games and you're just here for the art, but you play video games, check out Dual Universe. We will be launching it on the 27th, and yeah, they liked what they saw on those images that I made, and in fact, you know, maybe we should just do some sort of Midjourney competition thing for I don't know what, of like a great celebration, a great celebration image or something like that, you know? So here's more. Oh, it came off onto the other screen there. It cut off. Darn it. Okay. Still not quite right. It's not quite right. So yeah, I think we're just gonna have to move on from that idea. So something more specific, like eating pulled pork. Well, okay, so here in the crafting of in the crafting of this stuff, we can do Majestic Dragon Knight, and then we go like this, and I give it a 2. I believe that's how, let's see, I probably have to put a spaces in there. And then eating barbecue, a 1. And let's take this off here. So what I'm doing is giving him weight. That's something that I learned last night watching a video from somebody else. So Reslex, if you got an image up of the dragon eating barbecue, you can link it. I probably am not going to click on any links for images, just because, you know, it. I worry about getting trolled, and I'm not thinking that you would do that, but I just, you know, if I get trolled into clicking on something that gets me in trouble, yeah, not worth my Twitch account. So, how cool is this? Artists must be backflipping. Well,
Welcome
so
to the Dragons.
that's what Frank says. Yes and no. Some are very upset about it. Some are very interested in it. So some artists who are doing art for production, for work, or whatnot, are really, really interested in this stuff. And none of these are right. Just none of them are right. All right, we're going to change.
Oh yeah, another dragon boarding the train.
We're gonna change what
All
we
aboard!
do here.
Choo choo.
Guntus, all right, 23 months as a sub. Next month you are in the 2-year club. There's 230 gold to everybody here in your honor. Thank you, thank you. All right, let me show you one of the commands I used to make the dual universe ones. And so, let's see if this works. This command may not work. Basically, I have the word du here, and then I have you can give it a URL to an image to use as a reference, and so it'll take like the colors and maybe the feel from it. And then I have dual universe video game inside a rocket ship. DU written, Space City in the background with a spaceship launching, 4K Unreal Engine Octane render, the 16:9 test creative up beta. I'm going to remove this 16:9. I don't know if this might give me an error. Yeah, it gave me an error. Okay, so I was worried about that. So we're going to use different command. We're not going to include the URL. Oh, it gave me an error on that one too. Well, shoot. All right, I'm going to do this a little different here. I'm going to go back to the one that came with had the image prompt in it, but I removed all of the extra commands at the end. There we go. I sit and like watch TV and spend hours working on this. It's just, you know, it's highly addictive, I would say. It's very addictive. Oh, these are turning out interesting. Now notice there's no DU written anywhere. At least we don't see it yet. And the proportions on this stuff are absolutely amazing. So here we go. We've got, I'm not quite sure what this one is, but that's really neat, and so is this one. So let's upscale 1 and let's upscale 4. DU text might work better than DU written. Yeah, I had some discussions with people in their help groups about this, and it seems that a lot of people have a lot of different opinions, and there's a lot of different ways to make it happen because the AI is interpreting your command each time, And it has this little bit of fuzzy logic where it applies a little bit different way of thinking every time it interprets a command. And that's how you get so much different variety in everything. And so it's possible that there's multiple right ways to do it. Yeah, Shadow Poet says, yeah, I can see getting lost in this. It's cool for someone like me who can't draw. I can't draw either. I can't draw either. So, yeah. And it is absolutely amazing stuff. All right, and so I used a dual universe image with these, and so what does my wife say about it? She's a little conflicted, but she's playing with it. I mean, she's here in chat too. And hello, Rick. All right, so this looks pretty interesting. Let's upscale this one to the max. And then this one looks pretty interesting as well. Let's upscale this one. And both those commands are running. So basically what it's doing here is it's using multiple GPUs to render this stuff out for me, along with their whatever coding they've got in the background for this AI. And it's very, very expensive to do this stuff. So if you look at DALL-E, which is probably their biggest competitor, the DALL-E charges credits. And so basically every image is a credit. And so every time I do up an image on this would be a credit, and it gets very, very expensive. At least with Midjourney, there's two things about Midjourney that are different than DALL-E. And DALL-E does have some other stuff. It does have some other stuff about it that is interesting that it does. But here, they won't block out people. DALL-E blocks out people. And what I mean by that is, if I say to make an image of Tom Cruise or somebody like that, then it's going to not allow that. It's going to tell you that it's not allowed. And if you keep trying, it's going to tell you that you're violating the terms and you could be banned for it. So they're actually very serious about it. Whereas Midjourney here is not. So there we go. We got an even finer thing here. And let's hit web here. And so this is the image. So this is something we could strive to build in Dual Universe, you know, and it looks pretty good. Yeah, it looks pretty good. So, but we can do some other stuff to it here as well. We can upscale it with the beta stuff and see how it turns out. Here's another one, and it also looks pretty good. Let's see here. I like these floating stations in here. Do you think that Dual Universe is known for floating stations? Is that why it keeps putting floating stations in here? Or maybe those are ships flying around? I'm not sure. Yeah. It does have some knowledge of Dual Universe. But its overall knowledge of Dual Universe is not very good. And it has some stuff with Eve too that's quite interesting. So, all right. So that hasn't even started yet. It's waiting. Huh. Wonder why it's waiting. Oh, there we go. Oh, and then all of a sudden it's 100%. So let's see here. pretty interesting, but you can tell that it's not super highly detailed. DALL-E can do hyper realistic all the way in. It's really, really wild. Whereas this doesn't do that. And so both of them have different applications. Yeah, so Red Knight says, saw an article on Google about an artist winning an award. Yes, and that has a lot of artists in an uproar, for sure. So, yeah. Let me show you some other art that I made, and you know, maybe I'll start by showing this dual universe stuff again. Since they're I'll give them a little love. They've been posting me on Instagram. I don't know where else they posted me. So this is a space scene that I made for Dual Universe, and then I tried putting it in a bottle, and which sounds like a very strange command, but you're going to see some other you're going to see some other commands here that I'll go back to the other one. It's just a plain, I didn't give it much parameters, much, you know, of what to do here. And then I put it in a bottle, which I thought was quite interesting. And this is supposed to say DU. It doesn't, though, and writing is very difficult to get stuff written really clearly. Here's DU in what looks like a water bottle. There's another bottle back here. And I love the universe in here. Isn't that cool? I mean, that's just so cool. And then in a wine bottle, and I was kind of thinking about celebration, like drinking alcohol, you know, at the launch of the game, stuff like that. And so this is a wine bottle and dual universe in a bottle again. And then here it is in like a bottle that I really think it's like MD 2020, you know, Mad Dog 2020. Yeah, this one turned out pretty interesting, and this is for the cheap, you know, the cheap celebration, Mad Dog 2020. You can get drunk off that whole bottle. In fact, you can get stupid drunk off a bottle of that. And then here's a champagne bottle. And this one's really cool because it has this towering stuff in the background, these giant towers that look amazing. And then here's a ship that looks like a rocket ship. And I got it to write DU in the background. And then here's another one where it wrote it kind of on the side of the building here, whatnot. And so those are pretty cool. And then let me show you a couple other things here. So Light Pyro, how do you get started? Go to midjourney.com, and you got to have a Discord account, and that's what they tie it to. Everything's done through Discord, and they're pretty unprofessional. And what I mean by that is they're the programmers building this. They haven't built a really sexy front end, and so there's a little bit of learning curve. You have to guess a few things, like after you do a trial, which you can do about 25 images on a trial, so about 25 commands, then it just cuts you off. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. And I wasn't even, it kicked me out of Discord the next day, and I wasn't even able to get back into Discord to see the stuff for the trial. I paid for it, and then I found that stuff. So it's midjourney.com. So I took some sayings that I just heard on TV, and I heard somebody say a glimmer of hope, and then somebody else wasn't happy with, you know, it's just some TV show. Somebody else wasn't happy with a glimmer of hope about somebody, and they were talking about them, saying they're a glimmer of nope. So hope and nope. This is what it came up with a glimmer of hope. And So it's really kind of cool. So this one is A Glimmer of Hope. And then, are you ready for this? Here is The Glimmer of Nope. Isn't that funny? It's like, this is like, nope, nope, nope. Yeah. And so anyway, I thought that was pretty funny. I did also try making a band hammer, and this is one of the things that it came up with. And then, this one I decided was a band hammer made out of Icelandic lava. Yeah, isn't that funny? Did you hear, by the way, that they found gold in the lava from the latest volcano eruption? Like, they found a bunch of it. And the scientists weighed in and said that it's not natural, and that gold does not come up like that because it's in clumps. And it's completely melted, but it's in clumps. So it's like a few ounces per clump, and they found it over like a 40-foot area. And oh
yeah, another dragon boarding the train. All aboard!
All right, Victor Vaughn.
Choo
36
choo.
months. Anyway, what they decided was that there was a legend of a Viking king that was buried in that valley, and they think that the lava hit his grave, and they had gold in there, and it raised the gold to the surface. Isn't that really incredible? I'm sure that we're going to see some TV shows about that because it's such an incredible story. Victor Vaughn, 36 months as a sub. All right, 1,080 gold. Everybody here in Victor Vaughn's honor. Thank you, buddy. All right, let's get into a little bit of Eve stuff. So, something that I found that that Midjourney does really, really well is propaganda posters. Seriously, I mean, it's like pretty incredible, the propaganda poster stuff. Here, I'll put in the command here, that I used to make this. And it's Eve poster, poster of Eve Online, propaganda poster, old Soviet style, man-hammering anvil that is shaped like a rocket ship, is what I used. And so we'll see what it comes up with here. Anyway, in Eve, for those of you who are not familiar with the game Eve Online, propaganda is a thing. It's kind of a metagame thing. And so this one, it didn't spell Eve Online correctly, but when you look at it, do you kind of not know what it is? I mean, kind of interesting, huh? And then here's another one that I really liked. And again, it's not highly detailed or whatnot, but when you look at it, you kind of know what it is. And it's pretty cool, you know? And then here's another one. And here's one where it's doing it just made a spaceship that maybe partly looks like an anvil. I don't know. There's no man hammering it, but you know, it's up to its interpretation. So here is, so I ran that command again and it came up with some other stuff here. And pretty interesting. But let's redo that one. Wonder if we could do the language alphabet, something like Soda. The language in Soda is called Runic, and it's very old. It's in a very old world language or alphabet. It's a real thing. So while it's doing up this other one, I was telling my mom about this stuff, and so she asked me to make a picture of of tulips in a vase with goldfish in the water in the vase, sitting on a table. Took me quite a while, and this is what I ended up with, and I was like, well, it's not quite perfect, but it's something. I sent it to her, and she's like, what the hell is that? And so I worked on it some more, and came up with this. And this, I used some of the new beta code that they have and everything, and it rendered the tulips much, much better. The fish in here need a little bit of work. You can kind of tell that they're goldfish. And it is sitting on a table. And I added the light coming through there. So that turned out pretty cool. All right. So if you enter the same thing again, it will not give you the same thing again unless you use what's called a seed. And if you use a seed, then it will apply the same picture that it came up with, and it will apply the different stuff to that image. And so you can work further on an
dragon
image.
Boarding the train. All aboard! Choo choo.
Once you find what you want.
Thanks for the shows.
You're welcome, Swamp Pig. All right, we'll give out some gold here in just a second. So you can come up with other variations upon the same piece of work. I have not gotten into that too much. There are some points when I get something that it looks right, but the color's not quite right, or the depth is not quite right, or whatnot. So, yeah. All right, so this one here, looks like it says EVE Online down there and everything. Okay, so let's take this one right here. That's going to be U4, and let's upscale that one. And then 59 months as a sub, Swamp Pig. Let's see here. How much gold is that? How about 2,360 gold? Everybody here, in your honor. Thank you, thank you. All right, so it's rendering up this other one. This one might look actually pretty cool. All right. See here, looking up something at the same time here. We're going to try a really complex command here too. Okay, so this one is looking even more interesting. Take care, Rick. So let's upscale that one. And then future is going to be interesting. Yeah, so okay, so let me tell you about something about this too. The there are video game developers right now that are using this to make in-game assets. I kid you not. They're using commands to get stuff to come up with the same feel and everything, and then they're making things like tables, chairs, plates, all kinds of different things, buildings and stuff that they're using as assets in video games. You can make stuff that's in 3D, or you can make it 2D, and it's just really, really wild. So, all right, let's look at this on the web here. Oops, it went to the wrong browser. Hold on. So that looks pretty cool. So yeah, you can't read the text here and stuff, but that's kind of part of the charm of this. It's fantasy and everything. So we can go another step here, and we're going to remaster it. And we're gonna see what it comes up with. This one might be a keeper as well, and I can see using this for myself, in like the away screens and stuff when I'm doing the shows for Eve or for other games, and so. Oh, now it's interpreting it different. This is interesting. It's very interesting. All right. That's kind of cool too. Yeah. Yeah, those are pretty cool. All right. I'm going to put in another command here. Now this one's going to be wild. This one's really going to be wild. This one is hardcore command here. So this is the command. Professional headshot portrait of Arnold Schwarzenegger as Terminator. Short, white, intricate hair. Terminator the movie. Facing the camera. Style by Chris Moore. Raphael Lacrosse. Adrian Mark. And Drew Struzan. Those are all photographers. So it's wanting to use them as references to their style. And then it says intricate hair again, sharp focus. It gives the camera stuff here. So like f2.8 on a Sony Alpha A7, which is their top line, at ISO 1900. So it's telling all of the stuff about how the camera view should look of the person that it's drawing. Trending on ArtStation, ultra realistic, digital art, highly detailed photograph, sci-fi design, smooth, sharp, focus, dynamic shadows, PBR materials. The background is futuristic white city. It's at 8K, rendered in Octane, HDRI, epic, cinematic lighting, and lighting by Cosmo Wonder and Unreal Engine 5. And then here's the dimensions, 9x16, so it stands up. And then it says video, no watermark, test, and there's some other stuff in here too. The video portion one is very interesting because the stages that it goes through to create it, it's going to make a little video. I haven't played with that stuff too much, but oh, yeah, okay, so now it's working on it. And that is one of the more complex commands. So what I did was I looked at Midjourney, and on their community page they have stuff that shows stuff that's really trending, that's really cool and stuff, and you get to see what commands they're using to make this stuff. So it's pretty wild. This is all public, so you can't really hide it. Actually, you can pay a ton more to have your stuff hidden. Why does it have a big D on his chest? Oh, it doesn't. It's just hasn't rendered in enough. You can tell it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. DALL-E, the other one, they do not allow images of people. And this stuff, the command here, it's got so much stuff in it and everything that it's taking longer. So in the no watermark, I think that means no signature on it. You'll notice that a lot of my stuff that looks like portraits, it actually has signatures on it, as if it's a picture taken by somebody or a painting by somebody. It says it's 100%, but it's not done until it brings up the buttons at the bottom. All right. So there we go. That looks kind of interesting. How do I show only yours in Discord? That's because I'm paying the higher price. And so I get direct access to message the bot directly. So I'm not very happy with this one, actually. I don't like how it came out. It's not quite, I don't feel like it's quite what I told it. I mean, maybe it is what I told it, but I want to try redoing this one. So I'm going to redo this one. Now I'll show you the where I got this command from, and it's a headshot of Cara Delevingne as Laureen. And you will 100% recognize it when you see it. Look at that, it's doing this other one in color. It did the other one in black and white for some reason. That's interesting. Why does it have a double head? That may render out. It is kind of weird. And then this one. Why does this one have a double head? Well, we'll see what happens. Look at that hair. Oh my. Oh, that hair is absolutely wild. And we got a double face here. This is not going well. Its interpretation, there's sometimes it does not get stuff. It does not get stuff right. All right, so it came up with this. That's just not quite right, is it? Yeah, not right at all. Let's try that one again. And this one's coming along. But that hair just doesn't look right, does it? All right, so that's what it came up with. I don't know. It doesn't... Yeah, not bad, but not right. That's exactly what it is. It's not bad, but it's not right. Do that one again, too. Guess I could crop it out. Okay, so that's something else that I've seen people talking about artists using this as inspiration and then editing it. There was one of this, I saw an example where they came up with this really great warrior that was totally ripped with a whole bunch of muscles and everything. It looked just absolutely fantastic. And he was holding something, but his fingers weren't right. And so they liked it so much that they had an artist fix the fingers, and then they were done. So yeah, it's again doing it in black and white. That's really interesting. Was the original Terminator movie, was part of it in black and white? Because it's using that as inspiration for this, because I told it to. All right, so let's take somebody who's viewing. What do you want to have us try and make a picture of? Little SWAT pup. Maybe because the artist reference, they do black and white. Oh, could be. Could be. All right, so that one's done. That's actually not bad. Finding gold in lava flow. That's a good idea, but I already tried it. I couldn't make it work really nice. It was just always volcanoes spewing a whole bunch of gold. It has a hard time giving reference to that. Anyway, that one actually looks pretty good. So, cat with a beard and wizard hat. All right. So this one's done. That's not bad. You know, she's a famous actress and stuff. All right, simply a cat with a beard and wizard hat. Let's see what it comes up with. Oh my. So, have I tried doing like any Marquee Dragon stuff? Yeah, so I've given it some of my artwork as a reference and stuff. The term Marquee Dragon is not well enough known by it. And so it doesn't do well with it. Well, these are interesting. That's kind of the closest. Do variations on that one. So you can do variations on one of them, and so it'll kind of use that as a loose baseline. So this one turned out a lot better, I think. It's kind of interesting. Cat looks like it's looking up. Let's upscale that one. What is this? It's called Midjourney. It's AI bot that translates what we tell it into images. And it's pretty freaking cool. Pretty amazing stuff, actually. We could do a 3D rendering of it. Let's see here. All right, so that one, you know. No, you don't feed it a picture. You write it in. So here we go. I'm going to change this to an anamorphic, majestic cat knight with a wizard hat and a beard. Or maybe I should... cat wizard with a wizard hat and beard. Finely detailed armor, cinematic lighting, intricate filigree metal design. Let's try this. So, Stable Diffusion. So I understand that Stable Diffusion runs on your computer. I haven't looked at it yet. But it sounds interesting. I don't know how long it takes because I know it's using like multiple GPU cores for every command I'm doing. So I don't know how it would work, you know, just one GPU. So here's some interesting stuff. Isn't that kind of cool? Let's upscale this one. There's also Dream Studio, Night Cafe, websites. So it's like a metal wizard hat. I am doing this through Discord. It's not in our Discord channel. I can bring it to our Discord, but I don't know if I want to do that. Moment here. The eyes are interesting. They're kind of glowing, aren't they? Starting to feel like a story here. Upscale that one. Yeah, this is really interesting stuff. I paid for the $30, the $10 subscription. Some people report using up all of their credits in a night. So, yeah. So it looks pretty cool. You feel personally offended you used it up on the first day? Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to try beta upscaling it and then we'll leave this one alone. But this one turned out interesting. And then I'm going to try another command while it's working on that one. Right. So that one is done. That's kind of cool, huh? It's even got like armor for his cat ears. Yeah. That's really kind of cool. All right. So we have an Eve one here coming up at the recommendation of doing Eve mining ships. Interesting. Is that like an Eye of Sauron or something? Not sure what to think of these. Let me give this one another run. Now, it makes them in squares by default, and I'm not 100% sure why it does that. A lot of times I'll tell it 16 by 9 on the aspect ratio so that I could use them on the shows, or so that they fit my monitor, you know, stuff like that. Look at that. So this is one problem that I've run into. It thinks that Eve is a woman. And so here's kind of this, you know, shape of a woman's face. So that obviously is not quite what I wanted. This one looks like it might have some promise. Let's upscale this one, and then let's upscale. Actually, let's upscale all of these. Oh, job will start shortly. Yeah. All right. I got too many jobs going now. Girly confirmed. Yeah. But we'll see what it interprets deeper in. Jack Red, they do have Tech 2 salvage drones now. Tech 2 Orca? Well, that'd be the Oracle. By the way, it seems to think that most Eve ships are blown up. It's really funny. It keeps giving me pieces of ships because it thinks they're blown up. All right, so here's a ship out here in some sort of clouds and stuff like that. Let's try beta upscaling it. This one is not quite as exciting, I don't think. And then this one.
Welcome to the Dragons.
I don't think we need to go any further with that one. Unicorn, thank you for following. Welcome. You want it 9x16, so you have to put -- AR space 16 by 9. If you want 9x16, it'll stand straight up. Oh, I did a bigger version of this? I didn't realize I did. All right. All right, so it finished this one. Told to remaster. Let's look at it bigger. Interesting. You know, it's interesting, but it's, you know, at the same time, it's not quite right. You know? Just not really what we were looking for. All right. So ship looks blown up because it didn't specify rattlesnake.
Oh yeah, another dragon boarding the train. All aboard! Choo choo.
I don't know what'll happen with this. It's probably going to give us some sort of rattlesnake. Oh, Spaceman Spiff. 55 months at tier 3. That's going to be a huge payout. 55 months at tier 3. 11,000 even. All right, everybody's Fritch. 11,000 gold to everybody here in honor of Spaceman Spiff. 55 months as a sub. Thank you, buddy. All right. None of these are really what we're looking for. It just doesn't know enough about EVE Online, and it gets confused with the word Eve as being female and not for the video game, and such. But we could do something like World of Warcraft avatar. See what it comes up with. We could try simply too, like dual universe. So what if we do dual universe game? Wow, these look interesting. By the way, you can even do image generation, and you can do the whole dimensions and everything. And so if you had like 2 monitors and you wanted your image to go over 2 monitors, then you could do like 32 by 9 as a resolution, whatnot. Wow, look at this one. This one is super fantastic. Let's upscale that. And then here's dual universe game. It's interesting, it's got the colors, doesn't it? I'm gonna redo that one. Look at this thing coming up. This is the bot's interpretation of things. All right, so I'm going to show you all my page here. So this is my page. Here's the URL to it. And so these are the different stuff, more of the finished product that I did. And you can see it there. And so a lot of stuff that I was playing with, trying to get different things to work. Here's one where I tried floating bodies in space, and this is one of the things that came up with for Eve. This one too. All the ships always look blown up, though. quite a bit of stuff. It doesn't know what Shroud of the Avatar is. This is what it thinks. This is its interpretation of Shroud of the Avatar of the game. All right, so this one, interesting. Let's do beta upscale. This one is not bad. If you said something like games, then listed a bunch of space games, it could do a bunch of different stuff. It could come up with a bunch of different interpretations. This one is interesting. Let's see what that is. Let's upscale that. You know, that picture actually looks pretty amazing, doesn't it? DALL-E's giving you some cool Eve-looking stuff. Yeah, so I haven't done DALL-E because of the cost, and I could just go wild on spending money on it. If I'm patient, the stuff will become more accessible. Yeah, so Sean says, I think it'd be interesting to use as an illustrator for books. To paste a description of the character straight into the book and tweak it from there. Yeah. Yeah, DALL-E is not open to everybody yet. So somebody I saw that was using some of the beta stuff in DALL-E said they had to wait a year before they were accepted. And he's a professional artist content creator. So... great for making backgrounds. Yeah. All right, I don't know what this is, but I want to upscale it. And then here's this one, which is really pretty fantastic. This is keyword World of Warcraft avatar. And yeah. So now I want to tell it to remaster this. See what it does. Yes, you can sell the product. So that's another very interesting thing about this stuff, is that there is the ability to use this stuff commercially. They have some limitations if you have over so many employees or whatnot. And then you just have to pay more. And basically it's a dual copyright. You own copyright, and so does Midjourney. And pretty much you can do with it whatever you want. Obviously you'd have to have a lawyer look at this, but pretty much you can do with it whatever you want, and then run with it from there. So look at this. Those are very interesting. Let's do another revamp on that one. I turned this one into a giant, I know it's going off the screen just a little bit. Turned it into a giant face, and this one's more of like some sort of helmet. So tomorrow, we're going to be doing some Eve space trucking tomorrow and Saturday. For those of you that are into that, and coming up on the 27th is the launch of Dual Universe. Looking forward to that. We're gonna playing the hell out of that. Both of these are really cool. This is like, let's see, show both these on the web. Isn't that kind of amazing what it came up with? How the hell does it come up with this? This is 2 images in one. I just asked it simply for World of Warcraft avatar, and it like makes a character here. It's like some sort of god overlooking everything else. And then it looks like, I don't know what's going on down here, but it's quite interesting. And then here's another version of it. And this one looks more like Horde. And this looks like a couple of characters maybe walking toward it. Isn't that wild? Absolutely wild. One character looks like it's from the movie Avatar. Yeah, that could be. It could be picking it up that way too. So it could be a mashup, that it's interpreting it as a mashup. So yeah. So somebody said, how would it interpret the Bible? You know, I don't much like to get into religious stuff on the show, but I am curious, if we just tell it Bible, what will it come up with? I didn't give it any other prompts. Can I do like a Bible in the style of Picasso or Rembrandt or Monet? I could. So that's really interesting. It didn't try and put any text on the pages. It put like scenes from the Bible. That is a very interesting interpretation. So let's try Bible in the style of Picasso. And then let's try Bible in the style of Rembrandt. And then Bible in the style of Monet. Huh. It's doing portraits for this one, for Rembrandt. Picasso. Wow, look at this stuff. Whoop. Monet. Huh. All right, so Bible in the style of Picasso. Look at that. It's upscale. Oops. It's upscale number 2 there. And then here's Bible in the style of Rembrandt. Yep, and this one's interesting. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, and here's in the style of Monet. Huh. In the style of Stan Lee. Oh my God. Ah! That's gonna be wild. So look at that. Isn't that cool? The text is not legible. Is Degas Dancer a person? All right. Oh, and Todd McFarlane. Oh my goodness, that's kind of a oxymoronic clash of styles. There's because there's Picasso one, and then Rembrandt. And then Stan Lee. It has his glasses here and his mustache. Stan Lee. How funny. And here's Degas Dancer. Yeah. So you can apply all kinds of stuff here to this. You know, we could even put like Stan Lee writing a comic book. Is that me? Yeah. It doesn't know anything about who I am or Marky Dragon. It really has a hard time with it. Oh, Shosundar. Stan Lee as Superman. So this one, put his glasses on a lot. This one is actually one of the best here. I think these would need to be redone. Stan Lee as Superman. Not too bad. Stan Lee as Terminator. Yeah, we're going to try something else here. I'm going to try Stan Lee as Superman, but we're going to take this up 10 notches here. Stan Lee did not invent Superman, no. He invented Spider-Man. Yeah, this command is pretty heavy duty that I used. All right, let's do this one up. So I'm telling it to make a final version of it. And then we'll see what it looks like. So they've talked about that they actually are putting pretty incredible load on Discord with this stuff. I kind of imagine that they're probably paying Discord for running this on there because of how much load it takes. I mean, they're using Discord CDN for all the images and everything. And so they actually been discussing with Discord stuff. If you look at their Discord page on the web or whatnot when you're going to go join it. Last time I looked, it said that there was 1.3 million people online in the Discord. And that's like batshit crazy numbers, you know. So all right, look at that. Now, we told it as Superman. You know, so he's got, you know, red on here. Can't really tell it's as Superman. And the glasses come out just a little bit where maybe they should be in a little bit tighter and stuff. But that's not bad, is it? I mean, that's kind of incredible. So let's see here. Let's try. Let me formulate another command here. Do a dramatic interpretation of the first human on Earth. Yeah, it is really good interpretation. Would take artists days. You're right. Absolutely right. All right. So dramatic of the first human on Earth. Maybe. Let's do let's see what its interpret of dramatic last human on Earth is. There wasn't so much scared about this stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are really not happy about this stuff. You know, but you got to think about it. So if you think back, newspapers were very, very rattled about radio because radio was very disruptive to newspapers. People could listen to their news instead. And then television was very, very disruptive to radio. And so, yeah. Painters are rattled by photography. Yes, good point. Very true. All right. So I have class tonight and they're changing the location because it's going to be raining. Okay. So this is the last man on Earth, which is, yeah, or last human. Okay, let's do something a little bit more fun. How about dramatic zombies taking a group selfie? Horses were rattled by cars. Yeah. In theory, you can make new badges. Yes. So, invalid parameter, 16 by 9. Oh yeah, that is an invalid parameter. Let me fix that. Right. Did I use my Eve avatar yet? No. So you own the images you create on Midjourney, and so does Midjourney. They do not get in your way of doing anything with it, though. So if you want to make posters out of it and sell them, you can. Or make t-shirts, whatever. Yeah. So, P. Skinner, there's a lot of Keanu Reeves stuff out there. You can do that. So, but we just maybe you just arrived. We did a lot of stuff with portraits of famous people already. All right. This is dramatic zombies taking a selfie. Let me redo this one. Do they watermark it? So I think the answer is yes, and I think you can remove the watermark as well with a dash dash no watermark. But I don't know. I haven't worried about it too much. But I didn't set all this up quite right for 16 by 9 format. And I can't go further over on my Discord client because, well, it just shows too much information. So oh, funny. Okay, so we're gonna do two of these. We're gonna upscale number 1 and number 4. Number 4, the zombie's holding a phone. Yeah, this has deep fake. This is similar technology to deep fake. Look at this thing. This one's not turning out quite as good as I had hoped. This one's not bad. Yeah, that was just not very good. This one, however, pretty interesting. Let's upscale this one. Well, Braveheart, if you use the same words, it will not create the identical picture. They're always unique. You have to, in order to use a baseline of an identical picture, you have to use what's called its seed. And then you can use that as a baseline to create other variations. All right, I'm going to try a beta upscale, redo, and a remaster and see what other stuff it comes up with. Yeah, it's pretty incredible stuff. Oh. How interesting. See how esoteric or deep the data mining goes. Well, it doesn't go deep enough that it doesn't know who I am.
Oh yeah, another dragon boarding the train.
Even though I have a
All
ton
aboard.
of entries on Google.
Choo choo.
It's just Desiree, 93 months, man. That's huge. About 6,510 gold. Everybody here in SDS Desiree's honor. Thank you, buddy. Much appreciated. So that one is completely upscaled and everything. Let's look at it on the web. You know what? It's not quite as good as what I would like it to be. Job ID is different than the seed. You can click on here and you can copy job ID, and then I believe one of the items listed in there is seed. Maybe not. Huh. They keep changing things. So I'm not 100% sure. But they're going through a lot of iterations of things. That one's quite wild. Yeah, you might have to Google how to do the seed of it. Am I talking about the new trailer dropped about what's coming? Braveheart, I don't know what you're talking about. The answer is no. Because I don't know what you're talking about, so it's no. If you're talking about Eve, we'll be talking about Eve tomorrow. Yeah. So this one is in a bit different style, isn't it? It kind of looks better. Yeah. And then what is this? Is this like a Marilyn Monroe look as a zombie? Huh. Yeah. So that one's wild. Definitely wild.
Oh yeah, another dragon boarding the train.
Looks
All
out of place
aboard!
a little bit, huh?
Choo choo.
Let's see. 21 months of stub. The big one. Right. About 210 gold to everybody here in the big one's honor. Thank you, thank you. So, all right. Well, I think that that's probably about it for today. This has been very, very interesting, and we created some really spectacular stuff. I especially like the. I'm really happy with the dual universe images that I was able to create and stuff. They're pretty cool. I'm enjoying them, and they're all like celebratory alcohol for the launch coming up. So tomorrow is going to be Eve. We're going to do space trucking, and haven't done that in a long time. And so I got stuff set up for that, and that should be fun. And so should license those to my shop and buy them when you have money. You can get stuff printed. I was going to talk to my local printer about printing some stuff that might fit into some of the extra frames that I have, just for fun, you know, if I come up with something really nice. So, all right, that is it for today. Thanks everybody for being here. This is much different than the stuff that I normally do. I don't normally do stuff like art and stuff. It's always video games. But yeah, this stuff's pretty crazy. It's Midjourney. You can just look up Midjourney on the web. Go check it out. It's a little bit costly, but it's a lot of fun. Very addictive. So thank you everybody for being here. And here's on the away image. This is an interpretation of World of Tanks that the AI did.